The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11. Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. I'm going to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory. Call halal la Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kwadash, Barakatham. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Taught me his truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Shalom to the Aquap and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingness to edify and video. Shalom to confusing the face, brethren, join on to our ranks. Once again, it's the brother Yahweh what's up out of the GMS Cleveland camp, fellow servant, coming at you with this through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And basically, I'm doing a lesson based on an article I saw on his website. Bear with me for a second, Salakia. Salakia, a lot going on, trying to, do this and do that, how I get. But anyhow, basically I want to do a video on this article I came across. Basically, I got one other scripture, but for those that don't believe that Esau is trying to play or trying to be God-like, here's an article out of off a site called Science and Space. It's dated Monday, September 23rd, 2019. World's first ever human-monkey hybrid grown in lab in China. It says the world's first ever human-monkey hybrid has been grown by a Spanish scientist in a lab in China, which was viable and could have been born, but the process was terminated. Now take time to think about that. They're telling you that they actually took the time to actually, create, genetically splice and whatever, what have you, basically they was able to come up and create this hybrid, but they're telling you that they chose to, to go ahead and terminate it. So how many of them, or how many of these strange newly created creatures have they not terminated? How many of them have they created that you're not aware of? It makes me think about that movie, The Island of Dr. Moreau. I remember when I first thought about it, or Slakia, when I first saw that movie, I didn't see the original. I saw the remake with Val Kilmer. And, I'm not going to lie. The Most High is cold because, I wanted to actually get into that type of thing. I wanted to be God. Like I wanted to, at the time when I was a young man, I said, well, I'm going to be a scientist and I'm going to be splicing genes and whatnot. Yeah, that's what was my vain imagination. Never knowing that in actuality, the Most High had me. He said, no, you're going to do this. Most High code. Salakia. Continue. It says, monkey embryos were genetically modified to create a hybrid. Monkey embryos were genetically modified to create a hybrid embryo. They deactivated certain genes that led to the formation organs. Then injected the embryo with human stem cells. This breakthrough experiment, which is considered an important step forward towards using animals for human organ transplant, had to take place in China to avoid legal issues and con. But at the end of the day, you don't think that they're doing these kind of tests here? I mean, this is not the America that, like, come on, like, human rights get violated every day here, You don't think, it's not out in the open. But like I said, I was just watching a video that Apostle Tahar put up there. I believe it was Apostle Tahar, or it might have been Apostle Ramla. I watch so many videos, they start blurring sometimes. And then the two elder apostles, they do a lot of videos, so that's why sometimes I confuse it. Well, Salakia for not being correct. I mean, exactly correct, and no disrespect. But at the end of the day, they're going to make it seem like they can't do it here. But best believe they're doing things in secret here all day. Um, you know, I was just watching Apostle Tahar go into the video about what the two horns were and that spoke like a lamb. I mean, Salakia, the lamb that spoke like a dragon. The two horns that spoke like a dragon. And he was saying, basically how when you go into the research, like the RFID chip technology was created here. So, it's deep. Salakia, this breakthrough experiment, which is considered an important step forward towards using animals for human organ transplants, had to take place in China to avoid legal issues. The findings have not yet been published, but the team reported the creation of the hybrid to El Pais. The embryo was destroyed after 14 days of gestation, which is dubbed the red line, meaning the embryo did not yet develop a central nervous system. The scientist Juan Carlos Pisu, I can't pronounce that, Salakia. I'm butchering this person's name. Is Pesua Belmonte also hit the headlines in 2017 as he was responsible for creating the first human pig hybrid. Wow. And people think this shit is a joke, though. Salakia, bear with me for a second. It says the 2017 experiment was less successful, but his team could claim that they conducted the first experiment Slovakia. The first experiment of human and pig chimeras in the world. And a chimera is basically like multiple organisms formed together. It's like they taken like how they like I said, they took pig DNA and human DNA and formed them together, or monkey DNA, and formed it, mixed it with human DNA. A genetic chimera or chimerism is a single organism composed of cells from different individuals. University of California veterinarian Pablo Ross, professor, is Pisu's colleague said the human cells did not take hold. We saw that they contribute very little to the development of the embryo. One human cell for every 100,000 pig cells. So basically, the spirit just moved me to think of the statement, because I was just watching, Ancient of Days, the elder Barack Allah. He was saying, they was talking about how when they was talking about how I forgot what tribe they said was actually having sex with sheep and goats and shit, and they said it's like a woman or a human being. And he was like, no, it's not. It's one flesh is of the animals, one flesh is of men, and that's the truth. And they just telling you that it wouldn't take hold because you get two different organisms. You know what I mean? The team were able to more easily create chimeras between species more similar to each other. So yeah, because it's one flesh of man and one flesh. Let me get that real quick. Bear with me. Salakia, here it is. This book of 1 Corinthians 15. I'm going to start at verse 38. But Yahweh, why Yahweh shall giveth it a body as it hath pleased him, and to every seed his own body. Verse 39, all flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, and another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. So I'm not going to even read anymore because at the end of the day, that's the point. That's the point, because at the end of the day, they weren't able to take hold because it's two different kinds of flesh. It says the team were able to more easily create chimeras between species more similar to each other, such as the rat and the mouse, when are 5 times closer than pigs and humans. Project collaborator Nunez describes this experiment as very promising. He said, "We are now trying not only to move forward and continue experimenting with human cells and rodent and pig cells, but also with non-human primates. Our country is pioneer and a world leader in these investigations." And he said, "Our country." So this is the first time. I mean, I've heard about the cloning Dolly the sheep. These are things that they letting you know. But just imagine how many. It says this our well, Slovakia. This is University of California veterinary professor. The human cells did not take hold. Yeah, but it was. See, I'm confused now because it's saying they had to actually do it in another country. They had to do it in China. But at the same time, people that's speaking on it is professors in American schools. So then it says they're going to continue to move forward because it's promising. And it says our country is the pioneer and a world leader in these investigations. The team will continue to experiment with human, pig, and rodent cells as well as with non-human primates. But 9 times out of 10, where's they getting the human DNA from? So that's what I'm saying. See how sneaky and slick Esau is, though? Even Jake, though, but who's to say if he's not a 2/3 or if he's really just a terror? It sounds like, he might be Northern Kingdom, but just because you got a Northern Kingdom, you got Gadites that really aren't, Gad. You got to remember, a lot of Northern Kingdom got raped, especially when Esau was fighting Gad. That's when they had squaws and shit like that. So a lot of them that you think are Gad that got that land and them casinos and whatnot are really Edomites. But the point of this lesson is, because I didn't realize how tired I was, but is neither here nor there. At the end of the day, the point of the lesson is because it kind of blew my mind back on it. Like they telling you, yeah, we're experimenting with DNA. So at the end of the day, what is so far fetched about it? Super soldiers or these people trying to make a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. And at the end of the day, it says in Scripture that at the end of days, wild beasts is gonna break free from them zoos, and when it's all out chaos, the Most High. You ever seen that movie Avatar where the whole planet went to war against against Esau, or how about Pacific Rim? How you had those big ass basically behemoth and leviathan creatures trying to destroy the world. But to show you how arrogant and prideful man was, they're gonna say that we what was his name? Idris Elba. He said, he had that signature part. He said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna stop the apocalypse and all that shit." At the end of the day, the Most High, and to show you how cold it is, at the end of the day, the Most High is allowing them to do this. So, but at the end of the day, it appears like it's Esau creating these things, but it's the Most High directing him. And it says in Scripture that, let me get that real quick, and then I'm going to end the lesson. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 9. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. So at the end of the day, this might be, Esau might be, hoping and planning, and he thought he came up with this, but at the end of the day, it's the Most High behind the scenes working. That's why it tells you in the book of Job that he sealeth his instructions while he sleeps. Like I said, at the end of the day, we basically are all puppets on the string for the Most High. The last scripture I got, though, because at the end of the day, these newly created creatures is gonna get some of that action too. The elect men are gonna get some of that action. These newly created creatures, and it's gonna be like that movie, Final Destination. Or Cabin in the Woods. How Esau was directing the steps to sacrifice those children until the last two end up switching it around. It did. It was just. It was an all-out Armageddon. And that's a glimpse of, those newly created creatures to a certain extent. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11. I'm going to start at verse 5. But the foolish devices of their wickedness, wherewith being deceived, they worship serpents void of reason, and vile beasts. Thou didst send a multitude of unreasonable beasts upon them for vengeance. Verse 16, that they might know that wherewith a man sinneth, by the same also shall he be punished. So in the same manner, you know what I mean? And as I said, in that movie Final Destination, you know what I mean? Like even in that movie Cabin in the Woods, the guy wanted to always wonder about, well, I forgot what, because you got a mermaid and then you got the male mermaid, but it's called something else. From history, you always got the female mermaid supposed to be beautiful or whatnot, but the male mermaid looked like a fish, and he was always wondering about, but who was gonna get killed by it, or if anybody would get killed by it. And at the end, he got killed by it. So basically, it's like his worst fear came into play. Verse 17: For thy almighty hand that made the world of matter without form, when it not means to send among them a multitude of bears or fierce lions. Verse 18, or unknown wild beasts full of rage, newly created. And at the end of the day, as you can see, like I said, if they got a monkey hybrid, they got things that they ain't even let you know they got. You think that Tesla actually is waiting to start trials with that neural trip, or you already got people actually getting stuck with it? You ever seen that Terminator? You know what I mean? When they got signed a consent form. I think it was like the fourth one, the one with Christian Bale when he played John Connor. Dude signed the consent form to let them experiment on him. And there's gonna be people that didn't sign shit. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, once you part of the you in prison, you know what I mean? Your rights is pretty much non and void. It fucked my head up when I found out that they actually consider that's how they got the slavery. And I've always heard that, but when you really actually go research it, the only people that you can actually work without no pay is somebody that's in prison. That's why they got all these laws and trying to overpopulate these prisons. I mean, this shit cold, man. Like I said, verse 18, or unknown wild beast full of rage, newly created, breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy sense of scattered smoke, or shooting horrible sparkles out of their eyes. So at the end of the day, that's what I wanted to get. At the end of the day, you're going to have these newly created creatures. And as you can see from the article, Esau, that's just one example of them telling you about it. But just imagine how many experiments or how many projects is going on that they're not telling you. So, So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachak, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who told me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity, risking their lives and freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, was an edifying video. Shalom to the confession of faith, brother, joined on to my work. Salakia, joined on to our rank. Salakia for that. And with that, I want to say shalom, shalom, and until next time, shalom and a Bible ball.